In today's video, we will be going through the process of orchestrating ETL pipeline using Apache Airflow. And in particular, the tools that we will be using in this video are Apache Airflow to orchestrate our pipelines. And we will also be using a DBT data build tool to transform our data, and the data that we'll be using will be sitting in Snowflake data warehouse. Okay, so we will have a DBT code that will be transforming data within Snowflake data warehouse, and then eventually we will use Apache Airflow DAG to orchestrate our pipeline. Okay, so let's get to it. So over the last few years, Apache Airflow has been one of the most popular orchestration tools that data engineers have been using to orchestrate their pipelines. And in today's video, we will be using it to orchestrate our pipeline that will be running locally, and we will be using several tools in this video. So definitely do stay tuned for this video and watch until the end, because we'll be going through some very cool features of Apache Airflow interacting with DBT together with Snowflake. Okay, so like I mentioned in the intro, I mentioned that in this video we will be using Apache Airflow to orchestrate our ETL pipeline, and this ETL pipeline will be using DBT and Snowflake. So we have a DBT that is installed locally, and this DBT is connected to Snowflake, doing some transformations within Snowflake, and again writing back to Snowflake a schema. Okay, so the tools that we'll be using again are three of them. Airflow, we will be using DBT as well as Snowflake, and Airflow will be doing our orchestration. Okay, so let's get started. So to set up our environment, I did a number of videos for Airflow, how to install Airflow in your local environment, and I've also done some previous videos where I went through the process of connecting DBT to Snowflake, and I will quickly show you those videos because those are the requirements again for these videos. So you do need to have Airflow installed as well as DBT connecting to Snowflake. I could do the entire setup process from setting up and installing Airflow, setting up and installing DBT and connecting to Snowflake, but that video might take several hours. So I have previously done those videos, and uh, if you have not watched them and you want to know how to set up the environments so that you can follow along these videos, please do follow those videos. The first one that I did, the first video that I made was, if I go to my account, if I go to my channel, if you go to my channel, you will see this video that I previously made, this one, how to install Airflow without Docker. So there are several ways of installing Airflow in your local machine, and Docker is one of the ones that I've seen people use a lot. But if you don't want to use Docker, you can basically install Airflow without using Docker, and this is a video that I did for that. So if you open this, you can see some of the things that I covered. So like, for example, I went through the process of installing Airflow, and we used Python virtual environment for this. So basically I created the virtual environment, went ahead and installed the Apache Airflow on that virtual environment, and did the DB migrate, and basically just went through the rest of the process to have Airflow installed. And towards the end of this video, if you follow along, you will see that we ended up with Apache Airflow UI, and also I believe we ran a sample DAG for this hello world program. Yeah, this one here, and we ran this one on the UI. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the process because we'll be using the setup that we did for this video to leverage it in this video basically. So we will we'll be using this setup. So definitely go and take a look into this video if you don't have Airflow installed locally, and you'll be good. The other video that I did was connecting DBT to Snowflake. Okay, so this one was this one here, how to install and set up DBT core with Snowflake. Okay, and if we go to this one also, I went through the process of installing DBT. So we also we created a virtual environment, installed DBT core, as well as DBT Snowflake adapter. Eventually, we were able to connect to Snowflake, and we could run DBT models locally, and those ones were also writing data and picking data from Snowflake. Okay, so those are two important videos. If you don't have the environment setup, that you can take a look at, um, for you to follow along in this video. All right, so now that we are done with the prerequisites that we need for this video, let's get to it. Okay, so let's get to our demo now. So to start with, I have a actually, let's go ahead and set up our Airflow DAG and have it running. So to do that, I have Airflow currently installed. When I did in the last video, this web server here, this folder here was created, and this is where my airflow.dp and my DAGs are located currently, together with my my web server configuration file. Okay, so to start our web server, I think the other thing that I did actually was I created this. So in my users, in this same location, I created this Python virtual environment, and this is where I installed my Airflow DAG. Okay, so that will contain my libraries, and again we did it using Python virtual environment. So it's good to create the environment for you, so that if there's any other module or library that you want to add, you just go ahead and create it and add it there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to open my terminal, and I will navigate to that folder. So I'm in my users directory now, and if we list, we can see that we have Airflow as well as the virtual environment, Airflow virtual environment. This is the one that I installed my Airflow. And if we what I will do basically is I will activate that virtual environment from here. So I will do source and Airflow v and v bin and activate. Okay, so we will activate it so that we have our Airflow running, and then from here we can run our web server. So I'm just going to run this command here. This command will run our Airflow, and again, before we do that, let's just make sure that we have our Airflow installed. So if we do pip freeze, I believe we can do grep on this grep Airflow. Yeah, so you can see that we have our Apache Airflow installed. So you can see we have this Airflow libraries installed, and the one that's quite important here is this one for Airflow. So you can see that we do have Airflow here. Okay, so now that we can see that our Airflow is installed, the next thing that we need to do is to start the web server and the scheduler. So I'm just going to clear this, and I will see if I can find a previous command that was running for this right here. So this one is Airflow web server, and this one starts the web server in port 8080 as well as the scheduler. Okay, so this will start two services: the web server, which serves you the UI, and the scheduler, which detects if there is any tag to be added to the UI. Okay, so I'm just going to hit enter on this, and this should hopefully start our web server as well as the scheduler. Okay, so we will leave this one running, and let's just see if there's any error here. So we'll let it run. Okay, so it seems like it's running fine, and as you can see here, this one is saying the host is 8080. So let's go back there and just run localhost 8080. Okay, so we can see that it could logged us in, but if you don't see this, then all you have to do is, for me, I think I logged in previously, but most likely for you, if this is the first time you're setting up, then you will see this login page. Just enter the username that you created during the setup. And for me, I just used admin for this. Okay, and log in, and you should be able to see this page. Okay, so we can see now that we have this website. Okay, so this is the UI, this is the Airflow UI. And again, like I mentioned in the previous video, if you have worked with Airflow, whether it's running locally the way this one is, or you have had Airflow running on cloud environments, the UI is pretty much the same. Okay, so the tabs here are the same. You will have a similar kind of setup, really. Okay, so we have our Airflow now ready, but we don't have any DAG running. All of these are DAGs that come in default with the this come with the configuration when we set it up. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do now, since that we have our Airflow up, is to go and configure our DAG. Okay, so we need to go configure our DAG. And like I mentioned in this video, we will be leveraging three tools. The first one, of course, is the Airflow. The next one is DBT, and DBT will be interacting with Snowflake data. Okay, so what I have here, I will log into my Snowflake environment, and what I will do is I have data loaded into this schema here, or database, and I've loaded some data to a staging schema here. And what we'll do is we use one of these tables to do some basic transformations and write the transform data to this schema here. Okay, so as you can see, currently we don't have any table here. Actually, we do have this table here. I'm going to drop this because that is the one that we'll be creating, but we do not. Yeah, so and this one as well. I'm just going to hit, this is a view. I'll just drop this as well. I just want to have a clean schema. Okay, so we'll be getting our data from this staging schema, and we will be writing it back here. Okay, so let's go back now to our DBT configuration, and I have done this for you. So I've just created this before. So the what I will be doing in this DBT is that I'm connected to Snowflake. Again, if you have not done the configuration for Snowflake, follow that video that I showed you earlier. And what I have here in my project for Snowflake, I have created inside models. I've created I have two folders here. This for incremental models, I did a video previously on this for end-to-end ETL, where I had data coming from a Python generator going to S3, and then from S3 it goes to Snowflake, and then to from Snowflake DBT does transformations, and then eventually it was going to Tableau. So I had this one for this one. So for this video, I just created this folder here. And inside this folder, I created two files. Okay, so the first file here is the schema YAML. Okay, so this schema YAML is just a basic configuration for me to connect to Snowflake. Okay, so it is getting my source data from Snowflake staging, and the schema that I'm getting the data from is this one, staging schema, and the database is DBT demo. So if I go back here to my Snowflake data warehouse, you can see that is this database that we are using, this DBT demo, and I'm getting the data from staging. Okay, so I have a number of tables here, and if you're wondering how I got this data, I went to Classic Models. If you go to Classic Models database, you'll see this website here for my SQL tutorials, and I basically downloaded the data that is here. So I think if you go to download sample data, you can download the CSV file and basically load it to your Snowflake. Okay, so that's what I did. So this is the data that I have for here. And now what I did here is that I created this I specified these two tables. So the table here is orders and order details. So these are the tables that we're using to transform or do some basic transformation, and we'll be using this in this ETL demo. Okay, so we have and I specified here for the columns the order number for orders should be unique and not null. And if you go back there, if you go to orders and just preview this data, you can see this is that column here. Order number is a unique key and it is not null. Okay, and now, so this is my schema YAML, and if I go back to orders.sql, what this is basically doing is doing some very basic transformations. But at the top here, I have configured this to be created as a table. So this is materialization in DBT, basically specifies how you want to create this table in the target database. So this will be created as a table, or how to create this model. So this model will be created as a table, and we will be calling it orders by status. So what this model is doing again is it's returning year, order status, and the total orders for each combination of year and order status. So basically we are going to orders and order details, and we will group it by year as well as the status, and we will sum all of the orders between, grouped by year as well as status. So the final table will be looking something like you have a year and you have the status, and then you will also have a column called total with the total quantity multiplied by the price. Okay, so this is just a basic transformation, and you can have a lot. You can even do select stuff from a table just to see how it works. Okay, and then so this order detail, this order table is getting it from my schema, and in my schema I have specified the name of the source as staging. It will go to staging it, so this will be connecting to my Snowflake, going to DBT demo database, and then it's going to staging and getting orders. So for this one it will be getting orders here, and for the other one it will be getting order details. And the connection for my Snowflake, I have specified it inside profiles folder, or a profiles file. So when you create your profiles, when you do your setup, profile will be created. So you can actually manually do this. Just copy this template here and just specify the details here. Or when you're doing your connection, a DBT core connection to your warehouse, you'll be prompted to enter this, and that is what we did in the other video where we went through the process of connecting DBT to Snowflake. Okay, so I have my my Snowflake account here. I have my user, the password, the role, and here which database we'll be using. So DBT demo, and the schema here that we have specified here. This is the target schema. Okay, so this is where your transformations will be getting written to. So when we run this model, for example, when we run this model, the table name orders by status will be created under base, which we have right here. So base and dot the table name orders by status. So if you go back to your Snowflake, then to just visualize that properly, we are getting it from here, from staging, and basically writing it to this schema. Okay, so this is our DBT model that we will be running in Airflow. Okay, so again, we will be running this in Airflow. We'll be using Airflow to trigger this and create our table for us. Okay, so our orchestration tool is Airflow for this. So we have our model here ready now, as well as our schema. The other thing that I have here is this one for incremental models and incremental orders. I don't think if I did something here, so this one I don't think we'll be running this. So I'm going to ignore this. We'll just run the models that are inside this Airflow right here. Okay, so which is this one right here. All right, so now the next thing then that we need to do, since we have our model ready, is to set up our DAG. Okay, so we need to create our DAG. So to create our DAG, I mentioned that our DAGs in so when you go to your folder, the Airflow folder that was created during setup, you will see a DAGs folder, and we created this one. I don't think it was there before, but we created DAGs. This is where our DAGs will be living. Okay, so what I will do is I will go to Visual Studio and I will go right here where it says DAGs, and I will create a Python code called DBT Snowflake Airflow.py. Okay, so this will be holding our DAG now that will be transforming. I will be using DBT to transform our Snowflake data, and then of course we will upload this to Airflow, and Airflow will trigger it. Now, since our Airflow is already up and running as well as our scheduler, if we go back to our Airflow UI, we don't have any DAG right here. Okay, and if we search here like anything like DBT, it doesn't show up, right? So that's just to show you that we don't have anything there. And what I will do here then is I'm going to copy this code here that I already did it before. I'm going to just copy this and I'm going to paste it right here, and I will walk you through what it's doing. Okay, so I'm going to save it and I will get rid of this. Okay, so we have, going to get rid of this. Okay, so we have this DAG here. So this is how our Airflow DAG looks like. Okay, so basically I'm importing my Airflow operators that I'm using in this DAG, and on top here I am specifying my project directory. So you do need this because we are running this locally. Airflow needs to know where your project is, your DBT project is, as well as where your profiles directory is located. This is because we are running this locally, so again Airflow needs to know where all of this information is. So this DBT, again, this is where my profiles is, and in profiles this is where my connection to Snowflake is contained, and this is where my project is. So Snowflake is where our project is, so that includes the models and everything. Okay, so that includes the models, and I think I can open it. Let me just open it in a new let me just open a new window here, and we are going to open that folder in repos. So it's in repos right here, and Snowflake. I'm just going to open Snowflake here, just Snowflake. Okay, so if you go here, then inside Snowflake you have your project and everything. Okay, as well as the models, like so. Okay, so this is a model that will be running in this demo. Okay, so let's go back now to our DAG. Okay, so we are specifying it right here. So users are going to repos and the project will be right there, and our profiles will be inside DBT. Okay, so the rest of this are just a regular Airflow configuration. We just the default arguments here, and then right here I'm defining my DAG now. So I'm starting my Airflow DAG here, and we'll be calling this DAG Snowflake Pipeline, and it will be running daily. And the start time here, we can specify the start time and whether we want to catch up or not. In this case, we are not catching up. And as we go down here, I'm basically just starting this empty operator to start my DAG. This is just empty operator, nothing is going on in there. And then after this, inside the task group, I have specified my DBT configurations. So as you can see here, I'm basically starting my task group, and inside this task group I have my DBT jobs or tasks running. The first one that I'm running is DBT debug, and this is just a bash operator that is going to run debug on our environment and make sure that our setup is running properly. Okay, so this is just one bash operator. And then the next one is this DBT run, and this is basically going to run our models. Okay, so I just specified this DBT run, and again we need to specify where our profiles is and where our project is. And for this one, I'm just going to run um, models under Airflow. Okay, so just models under Airflow. And if you go to the folder, what I'm basically doing there is anything inside this folder in my models, I want to run everything. Okay, so that's what that code is doing. So all right, so that is this one here, DBT run, and then I also have DBT test to run a generic test in my workflow environment. Okay, so this is basically going to see if there's any test that we have specified in our models, and it's going to run and check the test for those. So again, for that one, if I just show you right here, we have in our schema, we have specified for orders, we have specified tests for this column order number, and this order number we want it to be unique and not null. So when this test run, it's going to run on this column, and if it's going to tell us whether it's passing or not. Okay, so that's basically just one way of running tests in DBT. All right, okay, and then we're basically executing the tasks inside this task group, and then at the end here I'm ending my DAG and basically just defining the execution dependencies here. So basically we're starting from start, and then we will run all of the tasks inside this task group, and then at the end we will close with this. Okay, so that is my DAG now, and I have saved it, so we can go and check if we have it now available in our UI. Okay, so again, because we have our scheduler running and we have our Airflow web server running, so the scheduler should automatically detect that there's an additional DAG that has been added, and it's going to pick it up. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if that's the case. So we'll refresh this, and as you can see, we have one additional file here. So if you saw earlier it was 69, and we see one now that has been added, and it's going to 70. So if you go here, all of them are post, and one way of just knowing how to search for your task is by the task by the DAG ID. So this one right here. So we named this one as DBT Snowflake Pipeline. So I'm just going to copy that, and if we go here and paste it right here, you can see it's now showing up, and here we go. Okay, so this is our DAG, and don't bother with this. It's showing up because again I was running it earlier when I was just doing a quick run through, so it still remembers the same DAG. Okay, and it is post. If you go to your code here, you can see what the code is doing. Okay, so if you read through the code, you can see that it's the same code that we just uploaded. Okay, so so this is just Airflow UI. You can see all of this, and now the duration here, you can see the schedule is running daily, and the next run ID will be specified here. Okay, all right, so you can also see the graph. So you can see the graph for this. This is how the DAG looks like. Okay, so we are starting with the start DAG, and then we are going inside the task group, and in the task group we are running the debug, and then we'll run the DBT run, and then after that we'll run the test, and then we end our DAG. Okay, so let's go ahead now and switch on this DAG. So we'll just hit there to unpause it, and now that it's paused, we'll go ahead and trigger it. So we'll just go ahead and hit trigger, and we'll see what happens. So this will run our DAG, and when we go down here now, we will see if it's running properly. So you can see DBT debug now is running well. Okay, so you can go see DBT debug is all green. All right, so you can see it started, it ran through, and it found our configuration files profiles, went through the project, found it was good, and everything is green here. Okay, all checks passed. And then when we go to the next one, right here for DBT run, we can see that it also successfully ran our model. Okay, so you can see it here. It started it, ran, and created the table inside base, and created the table orders by status, just like we were expecting. Okay, and then when you go to DBT test, you can see also here that we are running generic tests on orders.order number, right? Staging orders order number, and this one is also passing without issues. Okay, so now what we can do next is we can go now to our Snowflake, and we see if, so you see the last time we left here, we didn't have anything here in the base schema. So if we refresh it, we should be able to see additional table orders by. Okay, so you can see this orders by status table now created, and you can see the DDL here that DBT created. This was automatically created by DBT, and you can see the columns. There's 3 columns: status, total, and year, and you can preview the data. Okay, so if you preview the data, you will see the data for this. Okay, here we go. All right, so you can see now that our data has been grouped by year. So you have year in 2003. The status, we had around this many of, or this much of shipped orders. We resolved this many, and also this many were cancelled. The same thing with 2004, 2005, and so on and so forth. Okay. So we can now successfully say that we have used Airflow to run our DAGs. Okay, so let's just go quickly back again to our orders. In Airflow, so in our DBT orders, this is the model we created right here. Okay, and we specified our schema YAML here. And then when we went to our DAG, this is the DAG we created, and we put the DAG inside our DAGs folder in our Airflow folder. We put it right here. So we just specified the location of our project, which is Snowflake. If you have several of them, if you have BigQuery, you can put it here. If you have Redshift, the same thing. Where our profiles is located, and basically what we need to run when our DAG is executed. So we just want to run, for this case, debug, but you can leave the rest of this and just run your DBT run. Okay, so you can comment out all of this and just run this one only, and this will execute your DAG and run it in your data warehouse. All right. The other thing that I need to mention on this one is you might run into some issues, and I will quickly show you what I'm talking about there. So we do have this I'm going to copy this. I'm just going to create a new file here, and I will paste it here. And what I will do is I will delete. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this. No, I'm just going to actually empty it. Okay, I'm just going to empty it. And what I will show you here is that because we're running locally again, I have DBT and Snowflake. So I'm just going to uninstall those inside my Airflow virtual environment. So I'm going to do a quick uninstall of DBT core. Okay, I will uninstall it, and we will also uninstall DBT Snowflake. This is the adapter that is letting us connect to Snowflake. Okay, so now since we have uninstalled those two libraries, so that's DBT core, we have uninstalled it, and we have also uninstalled DBT Snowflake. So then if we attempt to run this code again, you will see that most likely we'll get some errors, and the errors will be coming because of this command here, DBT. So Airflow will probably not know, this DBT command. So let's do that and see what happens. So let's run it. And most likely this one is going to fail. Okay, there we go. So we can see that this one is failing now, and it's failing because it's not able to find DBT command. Okay, so it's you can see here it's saying DBT command is not found, and that is because you do need to install it within the same Python virtual environment where your Airflow is installed. Okay, so let's go ahead and now fix that. So if we go back to here, I'm just going to bring back here. Anyway, I have Airflow already installed, so I'm just going to bring back these two here. Okay, like this. And okay, so I'm going to put it inside my requirements folder, but you can also if you want, you can just do pip install and then DBT core, and make sure that you are inside your virtual environment. So for this, I will just run everything that's inside this requirements file. Okay, so this has installed our DBT core, which is important. Okay, and now let's again try to run this. So I'm just going to post this, so you can see that it was failing here. Let's see if we can run it again. I believe we can run it again. I think it has what is the number of trials we specified for this? We said the tries is, I think it only has one retry. Okay, so just one retry. But so let's see if we can refresh this. I think it's going to run for the second time, hopefully. Okay, so going to refresh this here. It should start the additional run here, but since it's not doing that, we'll just clear it, and it's going to run again. Okay, so let's see what happens now. Actually, we do have the second run here, right here. Okay, so this was the first run. The second run is here, and it's failing now on. So DBT went through for debug, and the second error it is failing on right now is this one for Snowflake. So you can see here, it's not able to find Snowflake adapter. Okay, so you can see that you do need those adapters. You do need the adapter for Snowflake here, and you can actually see it from the beginning here saying the adapter for Snowflake is not was not found. So what we need to do then now is we just need to add back our Snowflake here and install it. So we'll do it here, and we'll run again our requirements. All right, so our Snowflake now has been installed down here, and now if we run this pipeline again, we should be able to get rid of all the errors now. Okay, so most likely this is going to fail, but again I'm just going to clear this, and our third run now is this one here, and you can see now that this one successfully went through without errors, and hopefully this one also is going to run. Yes, and the tests as well are going to run right here. There we go. Okay, so that's just a quick way of troubleshooting some of the basic errors that you will most likely run into when running Airflow locally with DBT. Okay, so you do need to install DBT and the adapter to the database that you're using. So in this case, we were using Snowflake. So the virtual environment that has your Airflow also needs to have the DBT core in it, as well as the adapter to the database. Okay, and then from there you can now run your DAG, and it's going to run successfully. Okay, so I think this is basically what I had for you in this video. I just wanted to quickly show you how you can use Airflow to orchestrate your pipelines. And again, in this video, just to run quickly, we went through the process of setting up Airflow and also setting up DBT to connect to Snowflake. Of course, I did those videos previously, and you can take a look into them. And then we went through the process of creating the DAG. So we went through the process of creating our code, our DAG, and we uploaded it, and we were able to successfully run it. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. This is basically, I mean, there are several ways of running this. I think this is probably the simplest way to run if you just want to spin it up. But once you have bigger projects that you have to run, I've had people mention that we have Cosmos for DBT. I have not tried it, but I think this is probably one of the other ways also that you can use DBT to orchestrate your DBT core jobs. So I think this is some sort of a library that you can use to run your DBT jobs and connect it to your warehouse. So I think probably I'll do a video on how to do this in future. But you know, at the beginning, you know, when you don't know any of these things and you just want to have and find some quick way of running your jobs in Airflow locally, you know, with Snowflake, I think hopefully this video that I just showed you will be helpful for that. Okay, so I'm not paying any of this. The only thing I'm paying here is Snowflake, and this is not very expensive. But we do have our Airflow running locally, and you can see in the background it's running here, scanning and just making sure that everything is going well. So we did install Airflow locally, and then we also installed our DBT core locally, and we were able to connect to Snowflake, and now we are able to orchestrate. So again, now our pipeline is running daily. So tomorrow it will come back here and it's going to run. Okay, so it's going to run daily. So you know, from there now we can just go back now to our Snowflake and write our model. So from here you have your DAG ready to go, and the only thing that we need to do is basically do our transformations in Snowflake. So you can come here and just, you know, explore this. So you can do everything now, do your transformation, and when you're ready, just save it and go back to your DAG and modify it. Okay, so just modify. And if you want the schedule to run differently, you can also update the DAG. You know, just go to the part of the code in the DAG where the schedule is specified. Okay, so you just can go right here and you can update the scheduling here. Okay, alright guys, that's all I had for you in this video. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, please give thumbs up to this video, add your comments also in the comment section, and do subscribe to the channel if you have not. Again, I've done a number of videos on DBT, so if you want to take a look into some of the previous videos I've had, to take a look into the channel, and watch those videos. So I've done if I go to my DBT playlist here, you can see I have done how to a number of videos really. This one is how to convert SQL match statements to DBT. I did just quick overview of DBT, and there's a very popular ETL pipeline here that I did, and you can see here this one. I used DBT Snowflake and Tableau, and I was ingesting the data through AWS. So that's also one of the popular videos that I've done, as well as this one for DBT Core with Snowflake. This is the one that actually you need to watch for this video. There's another one here for Redshift, Postgre, another one for MySQL, as well as BigQuery. All right, so yeah, take a look into these videos if you want to know how DBT integrates with other databases, as well as just getting a better understanding of how to set DBT and what DBT really is. I also have other videos on GCP and many other videos in this channel. So please do take a look and watch them. Okay, subscribe to the channel if you have not, so that you can stay updated. All right, guys, that's all. I will see you next time. Bye bye.